What I want to talk about is how it ties into being autistic and also to having ADHD. Today I am going to be talking about one of the most frequent complaints that I get here on this channel, and it's that I talk too much, especially on the bigger videos that I have made, which mostly are in the past. A lot of times on YouTube, it takes a little while for a video to take off. And so a lot of times the videos that have gotten tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of views are videos that are 6 months or 12 months old, and a lot of times those videos aren't videos that I even particularly like anymore. They're a couple hundred videos ago because I make so many videos, and when I look at a video that's that old, it usually kind of bugs me too. For me, video making is a special interest. When I watch older videos, a lot of the times I do sort of cringe. Although less so the ones that are like day in the life videos that Maggie likes to like, which is good because Maggie watches a lot of those sort of videos, and that's probably because I'm not watching myself. But for sit-down videos, when I see those playing, which Maggie sometimes watches those too, that's much more cringe. So a lot of the times I probably agree with you. Yeah, I talk too much. And you have no idea. If you're watching a video and it's 10 minutes long, I probably sat here and talked for 50 minutes, and then I edited that down to 10 minutes for you that you're complaining about having to watch. Because you're wondering if your 1-year-old is autistic, and you couldn't sit there for 10 minutes while I condensed 7 years of life experience to try to help you out. Now, I know that's not you, that's other people, but I get that comment a lot. There have been days when I've gotten that comment 6 times. So I get it. I talk too much. Or the other popular one is you really like the sound of your own voice, which, I mean, I don't hate the sound of my own voice. That's not one of the things about myself that really bothers me. It's not one of the things that I lie awake at night and replay in my head. Now my phone voice, that bugs me, but not my video voice. But there's a reason I'm making this video, and it's not just to complain about people who see a video they don't like and can't just click that little X or click the back button and scroll away. Because this is YouTube. I'm here for this. I expect it. I actually expected quite a few more hate comments than I get. I'm okay with the ratio that I have at the moment. What I want to talk about is how it ties into being autistic and also to having ADHD, because that's kind of where a lot of this comes from. When I had my neuropsych evaluation, when I was diagnosed as being autistic and having ADHD, and it's going to be loud because there's 5 kids here all the time. We've been in lockdown since March. It's August now, so I never have a moment to myself. So there's going to be background noise. We're just going to have to get through it together. When I was diagnosed as being autistic and having ADHD, one of the things that came out was that I have horrible, exceptionally horrible, like even for a person with ADHD, working memory. Which sometimes is compared with like short-term memory, which I had no idea of before, and which my own doctors were kind of like really surprised about because I did really, really well in school. And I think that that's because when I see things written down, I remember that very, very well. As long as something's printed out in front of me, my mind, I know that my mind stores things, words written out very, very well. But anything that I've heard that's just like words becomes jumbled and is gone. And the other thing that I'm very, very bad at is I just failed at impulse control. My impulse control was just, I guess, not existent. Executive function is what we're going to talk about for a moment, and it does play into how I talk too much. And so executive function applies to things like flexible thinking, emotional control, impulse control, organization, keeping tracks of things physically and mentally. That's important here. Task initiation, planning and prioritizing. That's important here. Like when I'm talking about things, planning and prioritizing, when I'm talking about keeping track of things mentally, what I'm talking about. Self-monitoring, awareness of how I'm doing in the moment when I'm talking about things, and working memory, which is keeping key information in the mind and using it. So I've had the suggestion before from people who try to be more constructive in their comments of making a script or using flashcards, and I have tried to do that. It doesn't work for me. I tried a lot in the beginning to do that, and basically when I've tried to do that, it's like this. Let me show you. This is all that happens. I read one sentence, and then I look up, and then I read one sentence, and then I look up, and then I read one sentence, and then I look up. It's much better and more natural and relaxed if I just talk to the camera, like the camera is my friend. And that works for me and my channel, and for anyone who actually can stand it and who likes this style and who likes what I say, because there are people out there, thankfully, who do like this style and who do like my channel and who do like what I say. And for the people who don't, they don't have to watch, because let's face it, no one's being tied to a chair and forced to watch my channel. Sometimes I repeat myself. Sometimes I over-explain. I tell personal stories, which some people like. Sometimes I get disorganized, sometimes I go in circles, sometimes I make my point over and over again. I think part of that also is being autistic and being not understood. A lot of autistic people have a tendency to over-explain, and that might be something that some people out there who are watching this could relate to. To not be misunderstood, we go out of our way to just explain every single detail so that nothing can be taken the wrong way. And I know that when I'm explaining things, when I send emails, the reason I can't use Twitter is because I tend to give every single tiny detail and go out of my way to explain everything that I can think of. When you tie that in with executive dysfunction, sometimes it gets a little bit disorganized, and sometimes I go off on tangents, and it just happens. I try to bring it all back together in the end, and I try to make it work. I like to think that usually it does. Some people get really annoyed. They feel like I've wasted their time. And this channel isn't for those people. I've said it over and over again. This channel isn't for everyone. I don't know. It's been a long day and a long time not leaving the house for more than like tiny errands. Anyways. So that is all for today. This is only, okay, before I've edited it, it's only 13 minutes long, which probably means it'll edit down to like 7 minutes, probably because I drink coffee, and coffee makes me really hyper-focused, or at least more hyper-focused, more focused. Coffee makes me more focused than I usually am. That is it for today. If you like this video, I would love it if you'd hit subscribe, and if you're interested in all things autism, that's backwards. Not that hyper-focused. If you like this video, I'd love it if you'd give it a thumbs up. And if you're interested in all things autism, we'd love it if you'd hit subscribe, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. How can I get my outro wrong when I've said it like 700 times? It took me forever to come up with that thing in the beginning.